In this issue, Pavitra decides to stop being Spider-Man and start anew by working as Spider-Man's hater. The question remains, will he choose this path forever? In the opening scene, Pavitra lets out a yelp of pain, thinking about all the tough battles he's had in his career as Spider-Man. He recalls the punches, the cracked ribs, and the times he got knocked on the head, or, more like, many times. However, what he finds the most painful isn't any of those encounters, it's the task he's attempting at home, cooking. Aunt Maya notices Pavitra's fingers hurting and tells him not to make a big deal since it's just a minor burn. Pavitra, in a light-hearted manner, teases his dear aunt, asking if her fingers are as tough as adamantium. He's been dealing with a whole week of college, community service, and longing for MJ, making him yearn for some respite. For the past week, Pavitra has been actively helping various people in his neighborhood, but not as Spider-Man, just as himself. He's found a certain happiness in this new way of contributing. He notes that there's no more fighting, no need to endure punches, no hiding of bruises, and no more lies or uncomfortable chafing. Everything has become peaceful. Yet, it's almost too quiet for him, and he's still adjusting. The absence of any signs of Dr. Kumar means Spider-Man is also absent. However, the public continues to follow him online, making him a daily trend. He acknowledges that it's challenging to fully embrace this peaceful life when the busy, bustling life he left behind still echoes with hurtful words and memories. Pavitra reflects that now and then, there's a moment that feels like a little ray of sunshine when he's fully present. Pavitra reflects that he's met the angelic Niina before, even though she hasn't met him in his masked persona. With enthusiasm, Pavitra introduces himself and shakes hands with the woman who has come to pick up her younger brother. Niina also introduces herself, praising the guy for being good with kids, unaware she's talking to the same masked vigilante she once targeted with a smear campaign. Pavitra expresses his gratitude for Niina's kind words and emphasizes the importance of guiding kids in the right direction, steering them away from becoming masked vigilantes like Spider-Man. However, when Niina hears the vigilante's name, she can't hide her frustration, mentioning her job's constant focus on Spider-Man as a destructive force in the neighborhood. Pavitra attempts to shift the conversation and asks about Niina's occupation. She reveals that she works at GiriCorp in the corporate messaging department. Pavitra playfully confirms if she gets paid to tarnish Spider-Man's image online, and with a mischievous grin, he asks how much she earns doing that. Downtown, a bulldozer effortlessly demolishes several homes while a group of construction workers watches from a short distance. The CEO, Giri, enjoys the demolition, expressing his admiration for such a sight. He sees it as a reminder that progress often requires sacrifices. His bald sycophant readily agrees. Amid this, a tearful child approaches Giri and complains about the destruction of their home. The heartless CEO momentarily contemplates raising his hand against the crying child but refrains. Instead, he tries to explain to the child that the sacrifice of their home is essential for the country to become a global leader. He hopes this realization will help the child understand that this sacrifice, though painful, is a small but necessary step. Turning away from the weeping boy, Giri informs him that free food is being provided at the temple and assures him that his family won't go hungry. Giri's loyal assistant informs him that Ramesh has agreed to attend the opening of the Liberty Complex next month, which pleases Giri. He comments on how kind it was of Ramesh to do so, as it will bring some glamour to the event among all the world leaders. The assistant reminds Giri about the updated list, which he can find in his inbox. As his chauffeur opens the car door for him, Giri inquires about Spider-Man's status. The assistant reports that their smear campaign has successfully driven Spider-Man underground. Giri orders them to continue their attacks on the web-slinger, believing that pests like him always manage to resurface. Giri then asks about Dr. Kumar, and his assistant informs him that Dr. Kumar has undergone a transformation and is now considered a freak, making it uncertain if they will see him again. Before leaving, Giri reminds his assistant that this freak is one of the country's greatest minds, and they should consider themselves fortunate if Dr. Kumar decides to collaborate with them once the complex is open. He instructs them to keep monitoring Dr. Kumar's destroyed lab, emphasizing the importance of providing a brilliant scientist like him with the necessary equipment. Dr. Kumar is frustrated in a makeshift lab set up within a storm drainage pipe because his current experiment needs to yield the desired results. He tells himself that he can only become more perfect if he gains access to Spider-Man's powers. His impatience grows, and he vents his anger by smashing his tools. Driven by his obsessive thoughts, Dr. Kumar gazes at his reflection in a shard of broken glass. He convinces himself that he needs his previous lab's nodes and computer setup to perfect his experiment. He boasts that with his reptilian brain combined with Spider-Man's powers, he would become the most formidable being in the world. Determined, he heads for the exit, consumed by his obsession. In a surprising and daring move, Pavitra, dressed in a formal corporate suit, makes his way to the GiriCorp office to apply for a job, considering it his most extraordinary adventure yet. During the interview, the recruiter asks Pavitra directly why he wants to work for GiriCorp. Pavitra straightforwardly responds that he despises Spider-Man and understands that GiriCorp specializes in criticizing Spider-Man to earn a living. Pavitra explains that he used to live in the slums, and his life was permanently shattered when Spider-Man destroyed his neighborhood. He assures the recruiter that he can devote all his energy to whatever tasks they assign him. The recruiter gives Pavitra a stern, contemplative look in response to his statements. To seal the deal, Pavitra mentions that he possesses some video evidence depicting Spider-Man as a menace. This revelation results in him being hired immediately. Pavitra is immediately taken on a tour of the office space where he'll work, guided by Nina's tough manager. She informs him that he'll be assigned to a desk and receive credentials, such as a login number, a carousel of identities, and passwords for his work tasks. She adds that they have daily targets and offer generous bonuses for those who excel. Intrigued by the potential rewards, Pavitra inquires further, but the manager deflects the question, instead asking about the videos. Pavitra assures her that he'll bring them the following day. The manager introduces Pavitra to Nina, mentioning that Nina leads the team focused on Spider-Man. Nina warmly waves at Pavitra with a smile, and he returns the gesture. This surprise prompts the manager to ask if they know each other. Nina casually responds that they know each other a little, while Pavitra offers a similar response. The manager can't help but smirk, sensing a connection between the two. Nonetheless, the manager points out the desk station adjacent to Nina's, where Pavitra's name is displayed, indicating that it will be his workspace, complete with an introductory package waiting for him. As Pavitra heads toward his station, Nina gives him a thumbs up in support. Pavitra settles into his role at GiriCorp on his first day, quickly adapting to posting harmful content about Spider-Man on social media. He reflects on what a therapist might say about taking a job that involves tearing down his old alter ego with hurtful insults. He even humorously ponders whether the therapist would refer to Spider-Man or himself. The idea of seeking therapy briefly crosses his mind, especially once he starts earning a paycheck, but he dismisses it just as quickly, citing that the job doesn't pay well enough. While visibly yawning at his workstation and realizing the extent of negativity he's harbored toward Spider-Man, he begins to wonder if this negativity is, in fact, a reflection of how he feels about himself. Pavitra leans back in his chair, contemplating the unusual way he's making a living, when a stern, commanding voice interrupts his thoughts, remarking on his busyness. Startled, Pavitra turns toward the voice and recognizes it as Giri Sahib. He quickly greets him respectfully. In response, Giri asks who he is, prompting Pavitra to introduce himself with his full name and mention that it's his first day. Giri sternly warns him that it will also be his last if he catches him with his feet on the desk again. The next scene features Pavitra dressed in his Spider-Man costume on a secluded rooftop. He sets up his smartphone on a camera tripod, positioning it for recording. He reflects on the importance of making a solid first impression in his new job, even though his suit has an unpleasant odor. He quickly dismisses the odor concern. Before hitting the record button on his phone, Pavitra mentally prepares himself for what will happen. As the recording begins, he casually swings into the frame, attempting to make a grand entrance, but comically collides with a wall, resembling something from a cartoon. As he painfully gets back on his feet, Pavitra considers whether what he just did will be worth it, realizing he might have to spend his potential earnings on new ribs and therapy. However, he humorously contradicts himself, remembering that the job doesn't pay well. He reviews the video he just recorded and thinks to himself that he must be an idiot, but in a perfect way. On the 7th floor of the GiriCorp office, Pavitra excels in producing his video submissions, showcasing Spider-Man's supposed blunders. His initial video immediately went viral across numerous social media platforms, earning admiration from his co-workers and superiors. The stern manager commends Pavitra's contributions and uses his sudden viral success within the office as a lesson for others. As Pavitra continues to create these fabricated and amusing videos of himself as Spider-Man, he becomes addicted to the attention and affection he receives thanks to these viral creations. He submits another video, this time featuring himself tumbling into a trash bin, surpassing the success of his first viral video. Being recognized as the Employee of the Week, Pavitra relishes the affection he receives from many, wondering how they would react if they discovered the person beneath the Spider-Man mask. Outside an unknown garage door, Dr. Kumar's monstrous voice can be heard lamenting his inability to open a simple jar of pickles for his father when he was still a feeble human. With his immense strength and razor-sharp claws, Dr. Kumar forcefully tears through the metal garage door effortlessly, remarking that his father's work had weakened him, in addition to his battle with cancer and the state of his mind. As the tear in the door expands into a hole, the colossal lizard dinosaur reflects on how he used to be in the past. Upon finally entering through the hole, he resolves never to revert to that state again. The scene reveals the massive hole Dr. Kumar has created, but to his surprise, the garage's interior is empty, leaving the villain puzzled, as he had expected to find his lab tools there. Curious about the absence of his work, Dr. Kumar shouts, demanding to know where his lab materials have gone. He refers to Gary as a snake in his thoughts, clearly harboring anger and resentment. As he continues to demand the whereabouts of his lab equipment wildly, his rage blinds him to a ceiling door opening above him. A substantial cage descends without realizing it, entrapping the colossal lizard dinosaur and leaving him angry. Dr. Kumar demands that Gary reveal himself, claiming he can smell Gary's inexpensive aftershave. A door suddenly swings open, revealing Gary standing behind it. Gary greets Dr. Kumar with a sly comment about his appearance. Dr. Kumar expresses his belief that the trap won't hold him for long, to which Gary agrees and confesses that he only set it to capture Dr. Kumar's attention. Dr. Kumar inquires about the whereabouts of his lab, and Gary responds by explaining that he relocated it to a secure location. He clarifies that the accident that transformed Dr. Kumar into his current state drew unwanted attention. The gigantic lizard dinosaur then mentions Pavitra's name, noting the energy emanating from him when he connects the boy to his machine. Giri confirms that he knows precisely which Pavitra Dr. Kumar refers to by stating his full name. Dr. Kumar assures Giri that he has only witnessed such a remarkable energy source once before. Giri expresses the same sentiment, indicating his desire to obtain that power source. Dr. Kumar proposes a deal, stating that he can provide what Giri wants but needs something in return. Giri eagerly agrees to anything, prompting Dr. Kumar to reveal his condition: he needs help finding Spider-Man. He explains that they would become unstoppable with Spider-Man's powers and Pavitra's energy. Impressed by the idea, Giri informs Dr. Kumar that he has established a new laboratory for him on the grounds of the New Liberty Complex, instructing him to complete his work there. While at work, Pavitra reflects on how he occasionally encounters situations where he discovers the boundaries and extremes people are willing to go to because of his actions. He opens an email and finds a video clip featuring a fake Spider-Man, who is significantly larger, assaulting an elderly man and declaring that the old man isn't welcome in the neighborhood. Pavitra is both startled and puzzled, wondering who created this video since he wasn't the one behind the Spider-Man mask. He can't help but wonder what is going on and why someone is impersonating Spider-Man in such a manner. Pavitra and Neena converse about the new video circulating online during their coffee break. Pavitra questions the video's authenticity and doubts whether it's genuinely Spider-Man. Neena responds by asking him if his own submitted videos were verified, to which Pavitra hastily assures her that they were indeed 100% confirmed. Curious, Neena probes Pavitra about his knowledge of Spider-Man. He avoids the question, instead mentioning how Giri's associates pressure people to leave their neighborhood. He questions why they continue to target Spider-Man and what he could have done to deserve such treatment. Neena admits she doesn't know the reasons behind it but mentions that they are constantly instructed to post harmful content about him, as they are told it's right. Unbeknownst to them, their stern manager eavesdrops on their conversation. Pavitra firmly declares that he won't post the video, prompting Neena to wish him luck, acknowledging that their office doesn't thrive on free will. The manager intervenes, asserting that she will find someone willing to post the video. Pavitra passionately argues with her, emphasizing the vast difference between posting a video of a masked individual acting foolish and one showing him brutally attacking an innocent person. His anger flares, and he forcefully crushes his coffee cup with his hand, leaving Niina surprised by his intensity. The mean manager fires back at Pavitra, raising her voice as she warns him that she could quickly terminate his employment and have him out the door within 5 seconds, emphasizing that no one would even remember he was there. She challenges Pavitra to find another job in their city. Pavitra pushes back, stating that their actions are not a legitimate way to earn a living. He acknowledges that he initially found it entertaining but now recognizes that it causes harm to people. Defending their actions, the mean manager reminds Pavitra that their purpose is not to perform acts of goodwill, seva. Instead, they are there to make money, leaving Niina silent. Pavitra challenges this perspective, questioning whether making money justifies telling lies and spreading falsehoods to achieve their goals. The mean manager scoffs at Pavitra's idealism, dismissing it as naivete. After confronting his manager, Pavitra retreats to the men's bathroom and locks himself in. He gazes at his reflection in the mirror, acknowledging that he made a mistake and allowed himself to become too caught up in his actions. He reminds himself that what he does not define who he is. Pavitra emphasizes that he didn't take the job solely to profit from being Spider-Man. Instead, he did it for the betterment of the community. He stares intently at his reflection, recognizing that the current situation mirrors Peter's warning, the danger of allowing Pavitra and Spider-Man to clash within him. He declares that he is both Spider-Man and Pavitra Prabhakar, and they are the same. As he unbuttons his polo shirt, revealing his Spider-Man costume underneath, a loud knocking sound can be heard from behind Pavitra. Pavitra informs the person knocking from outside that he is currently using the restroom. Niina's voice emerges, asking him if he's alright. Pavitra quickly fabricates an excuse, claiming that he's on the toilet. Niina apologizes for the intrusion. Confused by the situation, Pavitra attempts to question her further, but instead of a response from Niina, one of the 3 men accompanying her signals for her to step back. The same man forcefully kicks the bathroom door until it breaks open. Pavitra, feeling cornered, inquires about the video, emphasizing that he won't be posting it on their behalf. 2 imposing individuals seize Pavitra, and the stern manager clarifies that their interest isn't in the foolish video. Instead, she informs Pavitra that Giri wants to meet with him as he has developed an interest in him. Pavitra, bewildered, questions why Giri is interested in him and why he's been chosen. In the background, Niina continues to offer apologies to Pavitra. The final panel depicts Pavitra being forcefully dragged away by the 2 henchmen while the stern manager commands them to deliver Pavitra to Giri.
If you're looking for something else to watch, you can check this video right here.